Hey there, this is Maria from English Without Fear. Why is it that most second language programs, teachers, schools, whether it's English or any language, why is it that they think that what is most important is the curriculum or the textbooks? Well, I think that's because most education professionals think that second language acquisition is like any other content course in a school, like biology or history or geometry. But the truth is, language acquisition is in a category all to itself.
English Without Fear, where you can learn to speak English naturally through listening to stories.
Today I want to make the case for the fact that teaching a second language is only dependent on content, rich content. You don't need a certain curriculum, you don't need a certain progression of order of things to teach. So we English language teachers, coaches, tutors, all we have to provide is rich input, the content. And you know what? Once you grasp that and believe it, then you are open to anything. The freedom in that kind of mindset approach is staggering. You can use anything at hand that is interesting to your learner. What we have to keep in mind all the time that language acquisition, whether first or second, is a natural process. Remember, babies and toddlers, they acquire their native language, their mother tongue, without working at it and without their teachers, their parents, having a set book, having a set curriculum. Not at all. So what happens with the baby and the toddler is the same thing that happens with your teenage or your adult learners. The brain is what controls language acquisition. Our job as teachers, coaches, tutors, language parents, is to provide enough input, rich and varied input, and the brain will do its own thing. Naturally, organically, it will lay down, it will wire, it will do its magic almost in the brain in the order that the brain itself dictates. We can't control the order at all. All we can do is provide input. Well, what does that look like? I'll give you a concrete example. And again, the freedom to use anything is what makes this approach so much fun for not only the learner, the student, but for us, the teachers. My last two content videos on this channel, English Without Fear, had to do with a painting that I picked out. It was a painting by an artist from the 1930s, an American artist. His name's Grant Wood. It's kind of iconic. It's of a farmer and his adult daughter set in front of a White House. So what I did was I had a picture of the painting on my YouTube video, and then I proceeded to describe the house behind the couple, and then what each of the two, the adult woman and her father, what they looked like, their facial features and hair, to the clothes that they were wearing. And then, from their expressions on their faces, I asked what they might be thinking about. And from the clothes that they wore, I asked what might they be doing? Where might they be going? And I left it at that. And then my next video I picked up with, I decided to spin a story, just a backstory that I made up. The woman looks serious and sad, and she's not looking at us, the viewers. She's gazing off to the side. So I asked this question: why is the woman looking serious and sad? And who or what is she looking at? In that second video, I was the one that created the story. But what I've done before in a live classroom with learners is let them create the backstory. And they really enjoy this. They make suggestions. I help them with the language that they use, the basic language, and then I make comprehensible and use language that is necessary to tell the story that they have created. What else have I done for follow-on activities? I've had students draw pictures about the story and then come up with their own Instagram hashtag wording. I've had students become or pose as one of the characters and write a letter to another character. I've had students create alternative backstories or suggest in groups follow-on stories. And you know what? I know when this topic is done, when their interest begins to lag. What counts is their attention, their energy, their interest. And since you know your learners best, just focus on what might be fascinating to them. Usually it's about ourselves. We like to talk about ourselves, so you can always start there. But just notice what your students wear, ask them about their hobbies. If you're tutoring in their house, look around for clues. Again, the sky's the limit, and this is what makes this kind of teaching so much more fun, so much more relaxing, and really easy because you don't have to follow a set curriculum. There's no right way. Remember, by the time a baby and a toddler has turned 4, they're pretty fluent, and their parents did not have a set curriculum or a certain book. They just provided rich, nurturing language in a home or a daycare or out and about the car, grocery shopping environment. It's not rocket science. So what do you think? Are you still convinced that you need a certain textbook series, or you have to follow a certain progressive order of language acquisition? Well, leave me a comment. I don't think so. This is what I have come to believe, but let's dialogue. And remember, you can also go to my website, EnglishWithoutFear.com, if you want access to all the videos. And if you haven't already signed up for my newsletter, you can do so there at that website, EnglishWithoutFear.com. And when you do, there is a free guide to some tips and thoughts that I have put together if you are new to this way of teaching, and you can download that as well. Well, this is Maria from English Without Fear. Talk to you next time.
Thanks for watching. For questions or comments, here's my email: